Hi there, Team 610. I'm going to talk to you today, whoops, not about that, about our compare and contrast homework poems, your assignment for Thursday of this week, April 23rd. So for this assignment, once you open up the document, you're going to read the two poems at the bottom of the screen. I'll make this a little bit bigger. That's step one. So why don't we do that together? You can scroll down, or we have this handy little bookmark and you click on it and boop, it takes you right there, okay? Very handy little skill, especially if you have a big doc. All right. Also, we have these blue links here for each poem's title. These will actually have this read out loud to you. I'm going to read them to you now, but if you're working on this or you get just, interrupted and you have to come back and you want to hear it read to you, you can click on those anytime, okay? All right, so the first poem is Homework, Oh Homework by Jack Prelutsky. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If only a bomb would explode you to bits. Homework, oh homework, you're giving me fits. I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark or wrestle a lion alone in the dark. Eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, then tackle the homework my teacher assigns. Homework, oh homework, you're last on my list. I simply can't see why you even exist. If you just disappeared, it would tickle me pink. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. Our second poem is The Homework Machine by Shel Silverstein. The homework machine, oh, the homework machine, most perfect contraption that's ever been seen. Just put in your homework and drop in a dime. Snap on the switch, and in 10 seconds time, your homework comes out quick and clean as can be. Here it is, 9 plus 4, and the answer is 3. 3? Oh me, I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be making a video. Okay, so there are the two poems. We've just done step one. Hit it. I'll talk to you in a second here. Number 2, please answer the questions using the compare-contrast vocabulary and complete sentences with evidence from the poems as possible. So this is going to be your more challenging assignment of this week, where you're really trying to use text evidence to explain your thinking, okay? So first piece of helpful information is the definition of tone. Tone is how the author feels about the topic. So you can feel that in their writing. If we think about tone, looking at these two poems, they definitely have a different tone. One of them's a little bit frustrated, angry. The other's a little more sincere or excited. Things change. Actually, the tone changes throughout the second poem. So let's look here at some words that you could use to describe tone. We have angry, happy, frustrated, upset, sarcastic, humorous. All right. Now comes the work part, the compare section. Comparing vocabulary, we have a list here of some simple and commonly used comparing vocabulary that you have used surely before. Also, both in common, similarly, similar, likewise, alike. So the question for number 1 is, what is something similar about both poems? And try to use evidence. So we have a sentence frame for you here, and then also some ideas. Is the tone, how the authors feel about homework, similar at all? Do they both feel a similar way about homework? Yeah, they kind of do, right? Neither one of them actually likes homework. They're both, one is just going on and on about how awful it is, and saying they'd rather do things using hyperbole or extreme exaggeration to say they'd rather do all these awful things than homework. And the other poem is coming up with something that can do homework for you because it's so awful. So they both dislike homework. So you could talk about tone there. Or topic. What are they trying to tell someone about, the reader about homework? It's that it's not good, right? So to answer it, you'll use your sentence frame, something. And you can choose in common about both poems, similar about both poems, alike. You'd have to change it to in both poems, is, and then fill in or complete the sentence. Delete these ellipses. Whoops. And you could write, both authors show how much they dislike both authors show how much they dislike homework. And then you could give an example from each. In the first poem, he talks about he'd rather wrestle an alligator. In the second poem, the author would rather make a homework machine than do homework himself. which would probably take more work, right? So that's an example answer for you, okay? Next is the contrasting section. Contrasting vocabulary, we have difference, vary, because, different, dissimilar, unlike, not common, uncommon, on the other hand, and on the contrary. And your question is, what is something that differs between both poems, and try to use evidence, okay? So one thing that differs is repetition. One of the poems has more repetition or more words or phrases repeated than the other one. We look at this one, homework or homework. This one actually, I think of it as like bookmarks, or not bookmarks, but bookends, where we have these two lines, homework or homework, I hate you, stink at the beginning. And then we also have that same at the end to kind of wrap it all up, coming back to that same set of phrases. This one does not have as much repetition, okay? Another idea could be the tone. Neither of them like homework, although the one is definitely more angry or frustrated. This one, homework or homework, and Shel Silverstein's is a little more humorous, right? So you could contrast the tone by saying one is frustrated, the other is humorous, and then give an example from each. So this one is frustrated. It shows that the author would rather take baths with a man-eating shark than do homework. On the contrary, Shel Silverstein's poem is more humorous because it shows that he says, oh me, I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be, after he creates this machine that doesn't work. Okay, so to complete, and you could also talk about the length of the poem. That's a really simple one. Homework or homework is longer. The homework machine is shorter. You could count the lines to give the evidence, or just explain how they look, okay? So to answer that question, you would say something different or dissimilar or not common. Could go here about both poems is, one is longer, the other is shorter. The homework poem has how many blah, blah, blah lines. On the contrary, the other poem by Shel Silverstein only has so many lines. So you just have 2 questions to answer. That's why I did not type in any answers for you. But hopefully I've given you enough examples of how you could do this that you can give me. My expectation would be, I think people could write 3 sentences for each answer. So you would say what the thing is that's similar for the comparing section, and give an example from each poem to support it or evidence. And then for the contrasting, again, the first sentence would say what is different. What is different is the length or the use of repetition. And then you would complete the next 2 sentences by saying in the first poem, there is repetition of these 2 lines. On the contrary, in the second poem, there is no repetition, okay? So please feel free to visit office hours if this hasn't been clarifying for you. It's tricky when my kid's coming in and out of the room and I'm not right there with you. So office hours are from 1 to 2 on Thursday and Friday, okay? So I will be here just sitting here staring at my screen. Let me know if you have any questions via email too, if you would rather, okay? And I hope that clarifies the comparing contrasting homework poems for you with support. All right.